Okay, so this first ever video, I believe, that's been made about IntelliTrader is intended to be some sort of a introduction to what it is, how you use it, and what does it do, and how many Lambos does it produce per week, and so on. And the very first screen I wanted to show is the TradingView cryptocurrency signal finder page, which is at which basically sits at the very core of what IntelliTrader does. So uh, unlike your typical bot, IntelliTrader doesn't actually consume indicators directly and doesn't calculate all the EMA, SMA values and so on. It takes these values from TradingView, or as we will be calling it, just TV. And what TradingView basically does for us is it compiles a sort of a rating based on I believe it's about 26 different signals, different indicators, and yeah, based on the performance of these indicators, it produces a rating value, which on the website itself is shown as a text value, but underneath it is a floating point number. So it can go as low as -1 or as high as 1. So it's -1 to 1. And what we do with our bot is we take these ratings, and then based on them we decide if we want to buy coin. There are many things that we also do to make it more robust and to make the buy more safe, but that I guess I'll explain that a bit later. So that's the essence here. That's the core of um, the whole thing that we base our numbers on. And the address is, well, you just Google TradingView cryptocurrency signals and you'll find that page easily. You can filter by exchange, you can filter by rating, order by, so it's you can see the strong sell, buy. At the moment there's no strong buys because the market is pretty bad, but well, there's lots of information here anyway, and you can add uh, all sorts of other columns here as well. Okay, so let's move on from that page and talk more about why, well, basically why IntelliTrader was made in the first place. I'll keep it short, but basically, initially I was using Profit Trailer and I just wasn't happy with how it was designed and how it's, how you needed to configure it, how it lacked some of the basic features like, market orders and Just by looking at the code, basically, I realized it's not well architected. Uh, but that's beside the point, I guess. It doesn't really matter what what in the profit trail does. We're talking about IntelliTrader here. So this is just the sort of a very simple page that I've done in a couple of hours, which demonstrates a bit of what it looks like, and you can also view the live demo. Go into the Discord's channel, which we'll talk about later as well, which is the main sort of entry point to all the new releases and discussions and troubleshooting and so on. So let's, I guess, let's talk more about how can we actually get it. So for new users who's not on the IntelliTrader channel, you'd need to go into this Discord and just input your name, accept invite, and I think it does accept everyone. I'm not sure, but you may need to be approved by a member of staff. But that's how you enter this channel. But since I've already got access, I'll just show you where it is. And so basically, this is where I publish all the new releases. There's been quite a lot since the very beginning. I believe it's been in development for about 2 months so far, and the latest version is 0984. So you grab you download that package, which includes, I've got already the whole thing unpacked, so I'll just to keep it simple as well. So this is what you get inside the package. There's a bin folder which you shouldn't touch at any circumstances, unless you're updating to the new version. Then there's a very important folder called config, which we will also talk about. Then there's data, which holds data about your either virtual or exchange account, which again we'll also talk about. There's the possibility to pay per trade with that bot. There's a folder for Linux and Mac OS users, and the log folder, which contains just general log information, and the disclaimer, license, and the help file as well, which I believe we have here. So there's it's not by all means complete, but should at least help with some bits of configuration. So yeah, it basically goes through each configuration file one by one and explains what each settings does, and also goes into a bit of a detail about each of the uh, functions of the bots. Like there's a new cool feature that's recently been added, that's called pair swapping, which swaps badly performing pairs for better performing ones. And that's seems to be working quite well. We're still in sort of testing it, but it's proving to be quite interesting. There's a whole lot to be learned, and my advice is to read through the help file first, and then if you don't understand anything or you have any questions, there will always be someone on the Discord channel willing to help you. Uh, Most likely it'll be me, myself, or Papi, or there's many people who are familiar with all the latest changes to the bot. Okay, so configuration, right? How do we configure the bots? I personally recommend using Visual Studio Code for that, but it's up to you. Obviously, you can use Notepad++, you can use Notepad, you can use, I don't know, Vim, whatever. So here we've got the whole structure. We go into config. There's a whole bunch of configuration files. You don't need, I would say you don't need maybe 2/3 of them. You just need, so the most important one is the trading JSON and rules JSON. So let's talk about trading JSON, which defines how the bot is trading, which exchange it's currently using. At the moment, only Binance is supported, by the way. So there's no point in changing that. That's not gonna work on any of the other exchanges. You can set the market. So if you want to trade on the Ethereum, you can change it to that. Excluded pairs is if you don't want to sell your BNBs, for example. And well, there's a lot of different things that you can see here. Each of these settings have a corresponding description in the help file, which I've shown previously, so don't worry about it. There's at least some sort of explanation, even if it's not very concise, at least it does tell something. So you can also configure DCA levels separately. For each level you can set separate values like buy trailing and essentially any of these ones and this. So anyway, that's beside the point. Here's where you configure if you want to trade virtual or live, and I also always and strongly recommend everyone who's not familiar with the bot to first start trading virtual, because you need to learn how it behaves, you need to learn the settings, and that's the best way to do it, because you obviously with virtual you're not losing any money, you're simply trying out different things, and that's the best way to learn, full stop. Don't start live trading until you're comfortable with the settings and until you're comfortable with your setup. So always test for at least, I don't know, 3-4 days virtual. Another important file here in the configuration is rules JSON, which is it's really hard to put it in a simple words, but essentially it defines two things. One is it defines how the bot buys new coins. So you can specify different rules based on different market conditions, and not just market conditions, but also, coin conditions like the coin ratings or coin volumes. There's a whole bunch of uh, things. Let me just try and find if I could quickly find the list of. Yes, so these are all the conditions that are supported by the bot. So there's quite a lot. Yep. And so this file is split into two modules. One is for signals, which is for buying new coins, and another part is called trading, which is for setting the configuration for essentially for pairs that you already hold and for pairs that you don't hold yet but might be buying, or if you want to, for example, switch off buying completely, you can do that from here. You can either do it per coin or you can do it globally. So there is no concept of global or a coin specific rule. It will all depend on what you put under conditions. So this rule essentially, because it's using just global rating, it can be called a global rule because there is no coin specific condition involved in this one. So you can have as many rules as you want, and they will be processed depending on your decision. So they can be processed, one by one, or it will stop at the first one it matches and that's it. So it's up to you. This is an example of a rule that is coin specific because it defines, for example, the minimum DCA level and max margin. So this is it. This is the, and it's actually for swapping pairs, which is a completely different topic, and I'm not sure if I could cover it in this video. So there we go. Then another one is core JSON, where you might want to configure the instance name of the bot. So this will be displayed on a page, on a dashboard page, or any other page on a bot website. And also when you get Telegram notifications, you will get that as part of a notification. Make sure if you're running multiple bots on the same machine that you're not using the same instance name, otherwise it will be logging you out as soon as you log into another instance. And the last one, I guess, is WebJSON, where you configure the port on which the bot will run. So this is for the web interface as well. You can actually completely disable it if you don't need it. But I don't know, there's not really much you can do without the web interface. So again, if you're running multiple instances on the same machine, you need to set different ports for each instance, otherwise it won't let you start a second bot. There's signals files which probably you shouldn't touch initially. It's more of an advanced configuration, so I won't go through this for now. Notifications is if you want to receive Telegram notifications, that's all explained in help file as well. And yeah, that's basically it. That's all you need to know in the beginning. So let's look at the bot itself, because we haven't actually, I don't think we have seen it yet. So there it is. This is our bot, which is running currently virtually, and it's not doing so well because the market is well, dive in. You can see, so I'll just quickly go through the main interface here. So these are all the pairs that you currently hold. So that's 16 pairs. That's my max pairs. So that's hence I hold everything here. The margin that it's currently at, target is when it will decide to sell it. Rating is the current rating of a coin. Rating bought is the rating that it bought the coin with. Age is represented in days, so it's 1 would mean 24 hours. Amount is the amount of the coin you bought. Cost is how much it's worth at the moment. Cost bought is how much you've paid for it. Current price, price you paid. Signal rule is showing you the list of, sorry, not the list, the one and only rule that it used to purchase that pair. So you can see that, for example, this one used the swap rule, and you can see that it used this pair to swap for XRP. So it used CMT to swap for XRP. You can also see the last buy margin. So this was at the time of the swap. There's some more information if you click, as I did just now, on one of the rows, which shows you all the order dates, order IDs, which is the same order ID that you see in Binance. So, for example, for the DCA level 3, we've got 3 dates and 3 different IDs. From here, you can sell the coin immediately. You can buy some more, or you can swap for another one. And you can also show the settings for that pair. So because in IntelliTrader each pair has got its own settings, so there are no global, there are no global settings. So each pair at each point in time has got its own settings. So for example, at the moment we can see that this one has got 2 rules applied to it, which is a bearish and swap pair. So it will try and swap the pair if it could find the suitable well, better performing pair. Um, Buy enabled is set to false. That's because we don't want to be buying when the market is bad, and so on. Essentially, it just shows you all the current settings for this particular pair. So for the other ones, it will be different. So this is quite useful when you want to see exactly, what to expect. So for example, what's going to be the next DCA margin and so on. Okay, so this is it. I just try and sell that coin just for fun. No, wait, is that back testing? No, we shouldn't be doing that. You can also enable lock here, which shows you the last 5 entries of the lock. Uh, Sometimes can be useful. You can enable or disable some of the columns if you so desire. You can copy everything. It copies it as CSV, I think, or you can download the CSV file. You can search for a pair, so there we go, Storm. You can order, you can reorder, you can, that's it. There's nothing else you can do on that page. Okay, so let's go through the top status bar. This is showing you your current balance, available balance, as it displays in a tooltip. This is the global rating, which is explained again in the help file. So essentially, it's the average of all the signal ratings, and it's very useful for determining the overall market condition. And this is what we base many of our rules on. So global rating is really important in IntelliTrader. This is showing you all the pairs that it's currently trailing. So they're showing you the trailing buys, sells, and signals. And the last one is the status. So it's just the health check. It makes sure that all the services are running fine, and if something goes wrong, it will send you the Telegram notification. It will try and recover the bots. You can set it to restart if it fails a certain number of health checks and so on. And if this is red and showing that it's off, that means something's wrong, and possibly there is something wrong with Binance API or your internet. Okay, so that was the dashboard page. Then that's the main one. Now we go into the market page, which shows you all the coins available on the exchange. Together with their ratings and the rating change. So that's a rating change within that. That's actually in percentage. So that's how much the rating changed within the last 15 minutes. 15 minutes is not very reliable, so I would say 60 plus is what you want to be using. So in this case, for chat, it changed by 236% in the last 60 minutes. You can also use that as part of your conditions for buying. That's the current price. It's the same for all the signals, just because well, it's the current price, we can't base it on a time frame. The price change again is the same. The volume, which for some reason is showing the same thing. Not everywhere, but that's a bit curious. Anyway, that's something for me to look at. The volatility and the currently applied rules again. You can also buy a coin from here if you want. Okay, and filter the signals if you don't like some of them. So let's move on because we already half an hour through. So there you go. There's a stats page which shows you your profit, daily profit. Not much, but that's a test bot and you wouldn't expect much from it. Profit in your current market coin, so that's BTC. Also shows you the total profit. You can click on the trades count and see all the trades individually. Yeah, there's not much here really. Again, same set of toolbar buttons. Then there's settings page where you can temporarily disable buys, sells, health check, or suspend trading completely. Remember that these are all temporary, so once you've restarted the bots, then they will return back to what they were, so the values don't persist. If you want them to persist, you need to go into here, which is called advanced, and then you have access to exactly the same configuration as I showed here. So this is, you can change the configuration of the bots from the website, and it will take the effect immediately. So you can, if you see the markets going down rapidly, you can disable buys, or whatever you want. There's some ways of displaying the how the information is presented, so some it might be useful. I prefer myself just code. So each of the settings can be changed here. Also, you can restart the services. So if something's wrong with the bots, or I don't know, if you've changed the port, for example, that doesn't take effect immediately. You need to restart the services. So there are a handful of settings that don't take effect straight away, and you need to restart services. These are very few, but in some cases you do need to do that. That's just refreshing the account. By default, it is set to where was it? Right. Well, every 6 minutes. And so, for example, if you made a manual purchase and you want it to appear straight away in the bot, you can click here and it'll immediately show on your dashboard. Also, you can log out. There is a password authentication for the bot. The other one is log, which simply displays you the last 500 lines of the log file. Nothing interesting here unless you've maybe spotted something out of the ordinary and you want to see it in more detail. And also there's help, which essentially is the same version as the help file that's included with the package, just with a different styling, and yeah, same thing essentially. Yeah, that's all about the bot. I mean, there's obviously more to it regarding how you set it up, all the trading and signal rules, but that's for another video. As I said, there is a Discord channel which is very helpful. Look for the IntelliTrader group, I guess. And if you have any problems, you can always ask it in support. If you have any technical problems, there's troubleshooting and so on. So everyone's friendly and everyone's helpful, hopefully. Yeah, there's a couple of articles that one of our members had written, which are very useful if you're new to these kind of things, and I believe they are linked in the announcements at the moment, so you can read through them as well. And yeah, just participate in discussions, ask questions, don't be shy, we're always happy to help. And we do share some of the settings, and we also would love if you could do the same, because that's the idea. Everyone tries different things, and in the end we will come up with something, hopefully something great. Alright, so that was it for now. Thanks everyone for listening to my boring rambling. I'll stop it now and I'll leave you alone. Thanks and bye.